Hello and welcome to another episode of the Empowering Leaders podcast. At Aleda, we are passionate about inspiring connections and creating a world of collaboration. Our signature program, aledaconnect, curates groups of 5 to 6 leaders from diverse backgrounds in sport, industry, social venture and the arts who come together to learn, to connect and to collaborate.
It's been amazing. Here you are on this Zoom call, feeling within the first session like you intimately know these people and care for them. And then all of a sudden realizing that even though you're in totally different industries, we're all going through the same thing, or we've been through it and we can help each other, or there's just this hurdle that you can't see past. And then you share it with the group and there's 5 answers in 40 minutes and you think, I have not slept for 2 weeks thinking about that. Like, how is this possible?
So you're listening to stories and the breadcrumbs of what makes success, and I constantly get something out of these Zoom calls and catch-ups because we're all living the same stuff, aren't we?
Extraordinary people with extraordinary experience. What happens there is magical.
The Empowering Leaders podcast is proudly brought to you by Victoria University, where cutting-edge sports and exercise science facilities like heat chambers, performance labs, and altitude environments mean VU is ranked 7th in the world for sports science. VU, uniquely you. As always, a big thank you to Jason Nicholas and his team at Temper Bedding, a mattress like no other. If you enjoy listening to the Empowering Leaders podcast, be sure to subscribe, and please, if you have a moment, we would love you to leave a review so we can reach more listeners and empower more leaders. Welcome to today's episode of the Empowering Leaders podcast, where we're joined by the inspiring Lorena Bernal, a woman whose grace, talent and entrepreneurial spirit have captivated people across the globe. With a rich background in television and film, Lorena has brought unforgettable characters to life in hit series like CSI Miami, Chuck and NCIS, where her on-screen presence has left lasting impressions. Beyond acting, she's graced the covers of top international magazines from Elle to Marie Claire, celebrated not just for her beauty, but for the intelligence and purpose she brings to every endeavour. Today, Lorena is channeling her passion into Live, Love, Better, a transformative lifestyle brand and movement dedicated to empowering women to lead more intentional, connected lives. With a focus on self-growth, mindful relationships and holistic well-being, her work is helping thousands redefine what it means to live fully and love fearlessly. As acclaimed designer Carolina Herrera once said of Lorena, she's elegance with a mission. Every step she takes leaves behind a mark of meaning. Her family heritage is as diverse as her career, spanning from American Indigenous to Croatian, Italian, and Spanish roots. Born in Argentina, raised in Spain, and educated in France, Lorena is the mother to 3 boys with her husband, Arsenal coach Mikel Arteta. Lorena, that's a pretty full life that you've lived.
Yes. Yes, that's a whole life, yes.
I read doing some research for today, and I can see the passion that you have for helping people to be the best version of themselves. What to you is the secret to living a healthy and happy, successful life?
I think the secret is to discover who you are in your heart, what you want, what you can bring to the table, and being authentic to that, being fearless to being yourself, and go for the life you are meant to live without comparing it to anyone else's, without comparing the ways to anyone else's, just being you, doing you, authentic to your passion, your talent, your call. And that way, I think you can live the most amazing life because every single bit of it will be authentic and true and will be of service of anyone else.
Lorena, people I'm sure will watch this and they'll listen to it and they'll see Lorena Bernal and they'll see this beautiful supermodel and entrepreneur and mother of 3 and a life coach, and they'll see this perfect life. But we know that everyone's got to do some work on themselves, as you said, to be the best version of you. Can you share with us what are the things that you've had to do to try and be the person you are?
I kind of, what you just said, the best version of yourself, I don't really like that concept. I like the concept of being the authentic version of yourself, not the best. Because if you are all the time trying to be the best, it will never be achieved. But once you are authentic, you can relax, you can let go, and you can just do you and be you. And in my case, I think with my life, I discovered that because I had to really know who I was, since I've been in so many different worlds with different people, countries, religions, languages, different social classes as well, that I always had to find out who I was in that context. And the context normally would change. So I had to rediscover who I was in that new environment. So it was hard for me, but at the same time, it was a gift to be exposed to so many different worlds, South American culture and way of life, and also Hollywood with all the limelights, and also elite sports athletes with my husband's world, but also moms in different schools, in different countries, in different kind of schools. So I had the privilege to live in very different environments with very different people. And I had to, instead of lose myself and adapt to whatever world I was being exposed to, I had the privilege to find out who I really was and not losing myself, no matter where I was. And that is, I think, what gave me knowledge, or that aha moment, that is like, okay, so just being you, wherever you are, with whoever you are, that's the key. Because you are with yourself, you know your story, you trust you, and you can do whatever you want, wherever you are, with whoever you are, and you are you, and you enjoy life without fear and with confidence. So that is what I mostly learned in my life so far.
And it's a great distinction you make between the best version and the authentic version of you. And as we often say, like, it's hard enough to try to be someone else all the time. As you said, it's a tiring life to live, to try and be someone for someone else. So that authentic version of you, what does that look like, you turning up as you?
Me, myself, personally,
Yeah.
I love life. Like, my authentic self really enjoys my senses, my body, my skin, what I see, what I hear. I love the sun, the rain, the trees. I love people. I love a hug. It's like I feel as if I was an entity that went into a human body with a life experience on Earth, and I'm enthusiastic about everything I live around me. Like, I love it, even the struggles, the problems, um, the bad feelings or the bad emotions, or like, I find it fascinating. I am fascinated by human beings and by our planet. So that's the me I carry with me all the time. But you can, I mean, the hard part is to be truth to who, I mean, in my case, no, that's me, but I cannot sometimes show that enthusiasm or that curiosity authentically all the time. It's not easy because not everyone is the same. So that's the work to do, to get to be yourself, even if the others are not, to live your way.
Yeah, that's interesting, and sort of point you finished on, and what a beautiful way to live your life too. The way you describe it, I can see the smile that comes out, and love everything, the struggles and the challenges. But you sort of at the end said, if you're with people who are inauthentic or people who are not being themselves, is that where you find it most challenging? That the people you're surrounded with sometimes maybe aren't living the life the way that you would want to live. Is that the challenge?
In my case, those are the moments that I find the most fascinating, because I know I can, in some way, plant seeds on them and inspire them. I live being myself even more when I'm with that kind of people, with an intention, I think, of showing them, hey, you can also be authentic and enjoy where we are. You don't need to have that mask or that insecurity or that um, judging, comparing all the time. You can just let go of all that and be here with me and enjoy this. Look, I am with no mask, so just take it off. So it's a challenge, but I'm not also attached to the result. Like, I'm not being myself for you to be yourself. I'm just being myself because that's the way I learned to live. But it's great to see you in front of me removing that mask, because by me not having a mask, I'm kind of allowing you to remove it as well and interact from your you and my me. And magic happens, really magic happens. And I love that.
You're also an author. It's a brilliant book called It Starts With You. And you talk about the fact that we're closer to happiness than many people think, that it's an inside job, to paraphrase some of the language. Can you explain a bit more on that everything within us is there to achieve happiness?
When you realize you are a person inside of you, and in your heart, right? Like the same person, the same essence that you were when you were a kid. And you are curious for life and you enjoy life. But then little by little, you grow up and you start putting all those masks, and you start thinking you're not enough, you're not good enough. So you need to be better, right? Because everyone is telling you you are not good enough, because everyone is teaching you how to be. Your parents, society, your teachers at school. So the message is you're not good. You need to learn how to be good. So you start kind of learning, trying to learn how to be good, and you forget that you were already amazing, right? When you're a kid. So that little kid is still in you. That little kid that is curious for life, that enjoys every day, that wants to jump instead of walk, that wants to scream, shout, move. It's still inside of you. So if you discover that and you connect with that you, then you're happy. Like, there's no other option, because you are feeling life with your heart instead of be thinking constantly logically or worrying or planning or trying to be better. So you are immediately happy and in peace, and suddenly you discover, oh yeah, it's me. And then you live your life. So it's not about changing your life. It's about connecting to your truth, to who you are, and then living your life. And from there, yes, you can start making changes if some things in your life don't work or you don't like them. But not to be happy, but because you are already happy, and then you live your life as you want. So that's what I'm trying to guide you towards with the book.
Lorena, we see most people, and most of us, get very attached to our jobs and our titles or our income and our appearance or a lot of external things. And you write a lot about the happiness being an inside job, but for people that is a hard thing to understand. How do you think true connection happens? Because it seems a lot is at the superficial level, but you talk about true connection. What do you mean by that?
If we take the job thing, the career, no, if you do a job or you go into a career and you look for success in that career from a place of, I need this to be better, I need this to be happy, I need that success to show everyone else that I can be better, or that I can be good, or to show myself, or to show my parents, or to show the world. If you do all that from there, from looking for success, validation, applause, fulfillment, then nothing will ever be enough. There will always be something else to chase or to find. But if you connect with your real call, that is what I need to do in this journey, in this life, that we only have one, by the way, right? So we need to make sure we make the most of it, and that we are truth because to ourselves, because we just have one ticket, one journey. So if you let your heart tell you, okay, this is what you are here to do, or these are your talents, or these are the things that really make you lose track of time and enjoy and expand yourself, and when you're doing them, you trust yourself completely because there's a knowing inside that you know what you're doing, and you want to show everyone, not for them to applaud you, but to give them who you are. If you do a career or a job from there connected to that, then success is every single day. It is in the expansion you feel while you are doing what you're doing, no matter what the results are, or what others think, but in the doing, in the everyday, that's the success. That is the real connection to yourself. So there's no fear, there's no weight in your shoulders, there's no disconnection from your personal life because you need to focus on your job, that a lot of people that they're scared of. No, if I lose focus and I put my focus on my kids or my wife or my parents or my personal life, then I'm going to lose track of what I have to do, and I'm so attached to the success I need to get that I cannot let go. And a lot of struggle come if you don't come from that authenticity or from that connection to your truth.
I recorded an interview with Dr. Pippa Grange, who's written a book about fearless, and that sums up a lot of what you just said. She talks about winning deep as opposed to winning shallow, and that expansion and the joy of the process sounds like a very similar, without fear, living without fear, as you described. So many layers to what you do, and I've introduced a few of them as an actor and an entrepreneur. And I'm curious, as a mother of three, how would you describe yourself as a mother?
I've changed a lot. I always tell my eldest, he's almost 16, like, you had the most unconscious mother, no? Like I started mothering from what I knew, that was my parents or the few things I witnessed, no? But then since then, with the things he taught me and with the things I learned about myself as a mother, I've evolved completely in all these 16 years. And then with my second, I was a completely different mom, and with my third child as well, a completely different mom. So today, I am a mom that is, I would say, almost completely detached of who they will become. It's not my thing to plan who they will be. And it's really like, it gave me a lot of freedom because you're not trying to carve a sculpture and make something, but you're just allowing them to find out who they are and what they want to do. I have no idea of what will bring them success in terms of job or career or country to live or anything. What I know as a fact is that what will bring them happiness is to find out who they are and live from who they are, without comparing them to my friends' kids or other kids or what it is supposed to be the right thing to do. Or so I allow them to be. I admire their way of living because it's fascinating how they see life without worrying about anything. Like they don't worry, which is great, because like they know there's a problem or there's an obstacle or whatever, but they don't worry, they don't overthink that. And it's, I learned every day from them the joy they have. They play constantly, anywhere, in a hospital, in a lift, in a funeral, they just play. And I love that. And I try to learn from them. So I became a little bit an observer and a learner. And I just make sure that I teach them the rules in the society we are in. Like I need to make sure they know, okay, here you can play or whatever, but these are the rules we all need to follow. Not because you're gonna be a better person if you do them, but because you need to live around other people, and these are the rules. Okay, so once you know the rules, then do you and enjoy your life. And that's how I mother, and I enjoy it a lot more than that I would enjoy it maybe years ago, when I wanted to be a good mom and I wanted them to learn, and I would compare them to an ideal of the best of anything. So it's quite relieving, and I'm enjoying every single day. And I know it will go so fast because my eldest is already 16, and he's already starting to live his independent life. So I know it's just a little bit of time, a few years, where you have a jewel of a person next to you to teach you what life is really about. So that's how I take it.
Beautiful way to bring the boys up. You mentioned before about the diverse life that you've lived, and you, given the profile of where you are in London, you can find yourself at the Palace having dinner with Prince William, or hanging out with fascinating people around the world. Has there ever been a moment, Lorena, you thought, "Wow, I can't believe I'm sitting in this chair tonight," or is there a moment that springs to mind?
Yes, many. It's as I said, I get fascinated by every experience we have. I don't take anything for granted, and I yes, like to be having dinner next to Prince William is it's amazing. It's a privilege, and to live in London and to be able to travel, or to be, I don't know, from, it's not just next to Prince William, it's also to be in a beach, cooking some barbecue at night under the moon. Like, it's, wow, it's amazing. So to be able to have all those moments, yeah, I'm that all the time. Sometimes when I get some stressful moments, or I'm overwhelmed for something, I always think, well, the other option would be to have like a normal life in one city, without moving, without doing so many things. Um, and I wouldn't like that simple life. It wouldn't be for me, because I want the juice of every bit of life. So I remind myself that this is a life you choose and you want and you enjoy. So I said, okay, let's go for it.
We're really excited collaboration between our world of Aleda, of connecting where we think are inspiring people around the globe, with your passion for live life better, and in September coming together in London. Super exciting. Can you tell us about how that connection happened from your perspective?
Yes, I love working with leaders, and like successful people that have people to lead in any world. And I really want to collaborate in showing them what I said before. First of all, hey, you just have one life, okay? So relax. Second, make sure you balance your work life with your personal life, because if your personal life is not stable and fine and nice, then it's very hard to enjoy your work life, no matter how successful you are. And I don't see many people or companies or experiences helping that balance enough. So I want to bring that to the table, and also help them to make sure they enjoy what they're doing as a human being, not as a machine, as a robot that does things with data in their brain and goals and results, and they work for that without realizing I have a heart, I have a body, I breathe, I need to rest. I'm a human being with all the imperfection that make a human being amazing. So in the conference, we're bringing a few specialists that will show these leaders how to take care of themselves as human beings as well. And uh, and I think the mix of leadership and well-being as a whole, it's beautiful, and I'm very excited to collaborate and to bring that to the table, because I've seen some magic happening in leaders that were amazing in what they were doing, but they were maybe missing something inside to remind them that, first of all, you're human, you're imperfect, you don't need to thrive for perfection because that's not you. Enjoy all those imperfections and enjoy all those moments where you realize you're a human being and you need to love as well, and to allow yourself to be loved and enjoy life. You don't want to get when you are 90 with an amazing company or an amazing success, but alone with no love, and leave this life without having really lived it. So that's what we're bringing. That's what we're going to try to bring to the conference. We picked amazing specialists that will bring a lot of knowledge and a lot of soul and heart to all the talks in the conference. It's going to be really, really nice.
Come and join Lorena in London in September. And as she said, some amazing speakers in here. Lorena's passion come out. Super excited to be there. Mikel, your partner, and Steve Kerr are going to be on stage as some amazing contributors. So we'll give you some more details and check that out. I wanted to follow on and ask you, I think the stress and the crazy pressure on an English Premier League coach might be more than any other people on the planet. They seem to get scrutiny at a level that very few have to deal with. How do you handle that, Lorena, as a family, to see that sort of pressure every day?
I mean, first of all, I see the pressure my husband has is mainly from himself. The maximum pressure he feels is what he demands of himself. Is not really what others or the press or the fans demand on of him. I don't feel that pressure. Me as a wife, I try to have our family just living and enjoying our lives, um, without pressure. Like whatever happens will happen, and I just try to enjoy and to help him, my husband, enjoy our life and enjoy the moment. And even the hardest match they will play with the hardest situation, because I don't know, injuries or they need a result or whatever. I see it as fascinating and amazing, and really a gift to play with at that level, no? And I try to remind us that all the time, that it's a privilege, that it's really a gift. So yes, work on it and work hard, but don't forget inside to enjoy, because it's not forever and it will end at some point, and it's a shame if you haven't enjoyed all this that comes with being a Premier League manager at this level in London in the Premier League. It's beautiful. It's really something unique that I try to enjoy, and I try my kids and my husband to enjoy too. But he's very demanding on himself and very hard worker. So it's a everyday job, to remind him to enjoy.
That's a great perspective, isn't it? To see that the joy is there, isn't it? The pressure is a bit of a privilege to be in that role, and you say that in such a beautiful way. I want to ask you also, I know you're passionate about mindfulness and meditation. Can you explain why that means so much to you?
Well, mindfulness is the title they've given to the capacity of being present in the moment. It can be called mindfulness, or it can be called just being peace in the moment. And meditation, it's one way of connecting to the present moment. I don't do meditation myself, but mindfulness, I think, and I don't like to say the word because I feel it as a title or as some kind of trend, but it's how we need to call it so we all understand what we're talking about. And it's just about being present, and the only way of being present is being connected to your heart, because if we live from the mind, from the brain, we are constantly in the past, retelling ourselves the stories of what didn't work, or fears of things that happened before, or we are in the future, what we want to achieve, what we are chasing, and we forget to live, because the only way of living is being in the present, is being in the now, here, enjoying this moment and living this moment. And when you are present in this moment, suddenly the past and the future just dissipate. They're not there. They only come when you think of them. But if you don't think and you just feel and are, then you are in peace. Like it's immediate. The peace comes and suddenly you are here. And oh wow, I'm here. Instead of people constantly in the future, constantly what I need to do, what I need to achieve, what I need to plan in order to be what? No, I always say, what are we chasing? Like the finish line is the same for everyone, and they don't give you a trophy. There's no one there waiting for you with a medal, and then you start living. No, it's not like that. Finish line is game over for everyone. So what are you rushing for? What are you chasing? Enjoy here, now, this moment, because it will never come back. So if you live like that, every single moment in your life, every single present moment becomes a thing, because it becomes really a huge moment. So you expand your life. No, now we're talking a lot about longevity and stuff, but you don't want to expand a life that is narrow and thin and longer. You want it wider. You want an expansion now, no matter how many more years, but you want every day to be amazing in whatever you're doing. Even if you are in pain or in a moment, in a situation you're not liking, make that make sense and make that a learning moment, or find the collateral love in that pain or in that moment. So that is for me mindfulness, and that is what I'm trying to coach or to teach and to model to others.
We all are born different. As we grow, the experiences we have develop into outlooks uniquely our own, charting our life's course. No one sees an idea, opinion, or opportunity like you. And no one sees you like VU. Victoria University. Uniquely you.
At Aleda, our signature program, aledaconnect, is something we're really passionate and proud of. We bring together groups of 5 to 6 people around the globe from diverse backgrounds, sport, industry, social venture and the arts, who come together to learn, to connect and to collaborate.
The thing that I've loved about it is not just the meetings that we have with our group, it's the thinking that you do for days and days afterwards. Someone says something and it sparks a thought, and I found that I would go back and look at things that I was doing in a different light. Within my sport and within women's sport, I'm just someone who I try to lead by keeping people talking about the issues. There's times when I think the person I'm trying to convince is not listening to me. It actually got me thinking about, okay, this is how I need to address my communication with them. So it was so valuable, and the little group that we've got is great, and I'm really looking forward to sort of continuing to connect with them into the future because we're all so very different. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it.
We have this saying, Lorena, that success leaves clues, and we love the patterns of people like you who can really articulate what it means to live the life they want to live. And starting with this idea, Lorena, of self-leadership, what's one way that you fill your own cup up each day for you to be your best?
We all have a piece of the puzzle, and we are in this all together, in this experience of life, every human being. So if we find out what piece we are, we bring that piece with confidence and with joy. And some people are born to be leaders and to be like the gluing piece for everyone. And some people are a piece only, but a very important piece. So it's not about forcing yourself to lead or to be a leader. It's about knowing what you have and what you bring to the table. So if you know you are like an important piece, that the role is to put pieces together like a leader, you come from there, you don't force it. But not everyone is meant to do that. I always use the metaphor of animals as well. Like we need all the animals to make sure the ecosystem works, right? We need the wolves, we need the ants, we need the mosquitoes, we need the birds. But not everyone lives the same way. So it's about knowing, okay, what animal are you? Like, what do you bring to the table without comparing your strength, your speed, or your ways to any other animal? Who are you? And bring that. And make sure you are authentic to that. And I think that's what we all need to do instead of trying to be the best at anything, because that means we are comparing what we bring to the table to someone else's thing. And if you live comparing yourself to others, then you lose a little bit track of your uniqueness and your specialty. So as a leader, I would say, don't force yourself to lead the best way you can, comparing yourself to other leaders, but make sure you lead from your heart and from your vision, and make sure you tell everyone what that vision is and why you think to get to make that vision a reality will bring to everyone. So everyone will be on board and everyone will be willing to give you their pieces in order to create that vision and make it happen. Instead of forcing yourself to learn how to speak, how to communicate, how to, and lose a little bit your uniqueness, no, your only way of doing things.
Lorena, speaking of vision, have you got a story you can share of a visionary leader that has inspired you and you felt compelled to follow their vision?
I heard once Quentin Tarantino, the film director, say that he's not necessarily the best in all these things like lighting or music or acting, but he's the best at communicating his vision. So he's good at telling them how he sees things and picking the right people to make it happen. So he was saying that that's his expertise, and I loved that. And it's real, because when you have a director that tells you exactly what he's seeing, then you can bring what you have and adapt it to make that vision a reality. So I think in every area, a leader that has a vision, and that vision comes from their passion, then they are able to express it in a very enthusiastic way, and trusting that that vision will create magic. And then you catch the attention of others and you make others to be an amazing help for that vision. And they want to make that vision come into reality. I think that's an amazing way to lead others.
Heard you talk about your curiosity a few times in this conversation already. How does that curiosity show up for you, and how do you then integrate some of that into your life?
Curiosity, I have curiosity for, especially for human beings' emotions. Like I want to know all the time how they feel, why they're doing this, why are they expressing this. Um, I don't know if some driver on the road is yelling at me, for example. I go, oh gosh, maybe it's because they had a bad day, or maybe what can be going on in their head to be yelling at me like that in this moment. Like, so instead of reacting to the yelling, I go into the curious mode. Is like, what makes a person getting so angry in such a quick moment for some detail of, I don't know, I have stopped in where I didn't have to stop, or something like that. So I'm curious all the time about how people interact, how people express themselves, how they talk, where they come from, and at the same time, I'm getting data, and I observe all the time. When I was younger, I used to give my opinion all the time because it was something that came to me naturally. This observation of others. So I was observing everyone. So I had a lot of data, and I would give my opinion, and I would try to teach. When I was a kid, and I got in trouble with a lot of friends because it's like no one asked you. I say, okay. So I learned my lesson, and I soon, early on, I learned not to give my opinion if they don't ask me, but to observe. That curiosity and that observation never stopped. And that's why one of the reasons I became a coach. When someone really want my advice or my opinion or my view, to be allowed to tell them and to help them to have a broader vision of whatever they're going through, because that's how I see life. I observe, and I'm curious all the time.
Lorena, we're a bit obsessed with this idea of collaboration and what happens when you bring inspiring people together in our world of Aleda. Have you got an example of a great collaboration in your life?
What comes to my mind is all the time that I've been grateful for what someone else has said or done unexpectedly, and it was maybe the piece I was missing or the answer I was looking for. Sometimes it's someone you expect to know more than you and to give you advice, and to, because they're experts and they tell you things. Not always it works, because sometimes they are in a different frequency than you. But sometimes people, you don't even realize you are having a conversation, and they say something, and it's like, oh my god, this is the answer I was looking for, or this is the missing piece. And I learned a long time ago to open my eyes and my ears and my senses to every person, because they might not know they're giving you precious advice or answers, but everyone has the potential to give you something valuable in collaboration. And at the same time, you might be bringing them or giving them also some jewels, some pieces of advice, or modeling some ways of living that really is life changing for them. When you are only yourself with your expertise, with your knowledge, I think you can get only to some places with limits. But when you open yourself to receive what others can bring to the table without judging, I mean, there's no limits if we collaborate between each other views, each other experiences. As I said, we all have clues and jewels to bring success to others.
Lorena, who's been the greatest leader in your life?
Okay, I have a lot of answers that came to my mind right now. One answer, I'm not religious at all, okay? But one answer would be Jesus. And I'm not religious. But when I was a kid, I was raised in, my grandparents were religious, and my parents too. And there's a kind of leadership that he had that was so gentle, so trusting in whatever the message he was bringing, so loving, so generous, so detached to the result or the outcome. And so that leadership is really an example I love. And that was present in when I was young, because they were religious. So that's a leadership I would love everyone to have. Like, if you ask me how you would like leaders to be, I would say like that. Another leader I have in my life every day is my husband. He's an amazing leader. He doesn't lead me, let's say, but in his way of leading in his area, he's amazing. He's amazing. I see his passion, his love for what he's doing, his connection to every single person he works with, from the gardener that makes the grass of the field amazing. He loves the gardener, and he loves the kit man, and the CEO. Like, he has a connection with every single person. And he's fearless, and he's passionate, and he loves what he's doing. So that's a leadership I really admire as well. Another leader I had in my life was my dad. Um, his leadership came from, and I understood this when I was an adult. His leadership came from not wanting his life to be repeated in his children. So we came to Spain from Argentina. They decided they wanted a better future for their kids, and my dad was the leader in that move. No, in that what school we would go to, the messages he would raise my brother and me with. Um, so it was an amazing leadership, because he empowered myself and my brother to believe we can achieve whatever we wanted. If I learned something from him, is the leadership, but also what I don't want to lead with. It was some kind of fear that if he didn't succeed in what he was trying to do, he was scared of that. So the way that comes out from fear of not succeeding in what you're doing sometimes is not the right way. The kids, in this case, will get the message. They will have to maybe remove the layers and understand the intention behind the way you were leading them. No, so as a leader, so he made me learn as well that you cannot lead from fear, because it doesn't always work. So those are the three answers I'm throwing there.
That is an amazing answer, from Jesus to Mikel, your husband, and your dad. What a great thought. That's a fascinating way to think. Final question, Lorena. It's been great to spend some time with you. Again, I'm going back to this passion we have for collaboration, and you can see the passion for you and the way that you lead your life, and it's been full of diverse interests and around the globe. Has there been anyone you thought, wow, I'd love to collaborate with them? It could be from any of your passions, from acting days or from Live, Love Better, or is there anyone, and you've had some great opportunities to do that? Is there a name that springs to mind that you've thought, oh, that'd be a great person to collaborate with?
I don't have one person. I mean, obviously, when I was in Hollywood, I would have loved, I don't know, Spielberg to call me, or things like that. No? But in reality, in my essence, I just pray every day for having the opportunity to collaborate with people that are amazing in what they're doing, and they live what they're doing from their hearts. Like, I love being around those people, because they inspire me, they teach me a lot. There are so many things I don't know, and that I'm really bad at, and you need to learn them because it's part of, I don't know, now with my company Live Love Better, I'm good at some things, but I'm really bad at others. But a company needs all the legs, right? Or in acting, I love acting, but I also love producing, script writing. So to be around people that are amazing in the areas I'm not good at, and they enjoy doing those things, and they really have a call in their hearts for doing them, I love being around them and learn from them, because it's really inspiring, and I love learning. And sometimes, as I said, these people you randomly meet, that they are amazing in, I don't know, in something, and I would be with them like for hours, asking questions and learning from them. I think you can learn a lot deep and quick if you are with someone that really lives what they're doing, and are experts in their essence in what they're doing. So those collaborations are fascinating for me.
And Lorena, on that note, we are super excited to collaborate with you in London in September, and we'll send out some more information how you can come and join. Lorena, I'd encourage you, if you want to hear more, go and purchase It Starts With You, Lorena's brilliant book. It's a great guide to the authentic life that Lorena's talking about, living without fear, living from your heart. I certainly learnt a lot today from our conversation. It's great to spend some time with you. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks, Lorena.
Thank you so much, and looking forward to see you in person in September.